Your lawsuit is so bad that the judge starts cracking jokes and he starts making quips like he's a MCU character. I bet you don't have an air fryer. Fox News takes a nuanced approach to falsity. Sidekick energy, right? Oh yeah, there was a Legal Eagle video about Fox News that dropped not too long ago. I want to watch a little bit of it because he looks into some stuff that we weren't able to touch on.
Fox News pays almost $800 million to Dominion Voting Systems.
It's over.
Because it was going to get screwed at trial. And while this settlement isn't going to fix democracy, it's definitely going to sting. Yes, the 2020 election is over and the winner is, well, no one. 3 years and one...
Capitalism, yay! Did you see the Steven Crowder tapes leak? What do you mean by Steven Crowder tapes? Do you mean the ring footage that his ex-wife's lawyer released? If that's what you mean, yes. But if anything else, no. All right, give me 1 second. I am going to use the bathroom. Enjoy this.
Attempted overthrow of the government later, half the country still believes that there was major election fraud. That's because conservative media outlets like Fox assured them that it was true. Over and over and over again, Trump supporters were told that the election was rigged by Chinese Bluetooth thermostats, or Italian space lasers, or in the case of Dominion Voting Systems, a Venezuelan algorithm developed by Hugo Chavez to steal elections. Thanks in part to Fox, the election tech company found itself playing a central role in conspiracy theories flogged by Donald Trump about a stolen election. Local governments canceled contracts to buy its voting machines, and its employees found themselves targeted by death threats. In March of 2021, Dominion sued for defamation, and now Fox is cutting a very, very big check. How big of a check? Well, $787.5 million, which is about half of the $1.6 billion that Dominion asked for when it filed suit. But remember, the amount of money that you ask for in the prayer in the complaint is completely arbitrary and always nonsense. That's a whole bunch of libel slander, and it's the kind of settlement that really shows that Fox knew it was going to get screwed at trial. But to figure out how screwed they were, we have to go back to the start of this lawsuit. In its complaint, Dominion pointed to 20 specific segments on Fox which were defamatory and painted the network as desperate to claw back its viewers from upstart conservative rivals One America News and Newsmax. It started with Fox's election night call of Arizona for Joe Biden, which provoked an immediate backlash from the White House. Trump's failed son-in-law, Jared Kushner, called Fox CEO Rupert Murdoch directly, and Trump campaign employees began attacking the company online. Soon, Trump joined the onslaught, firing off a barrage of nasty tweets about Fox, as well as praise for Newsmax and OAN. The impact to Fox...
Man, is Newsmax and OAN, are they dead? I think OAN is actually dead. I think I saw something from Newsmax, but they're kind of like beleaguered. They're beleaguered. RSBN unfortunately is still around, but I don't see anything from OAN anymore. I feel like they got bodied so hard.
Fox's ratings and its stock price was immediate, and it provoked a panic within the network's management. And so to win back its viewers, Fox went on the offensive, giving airtime to attorneys like Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani. We're gonna need more air quotes for these attorneys, to tell lies about vote fraud in general and Dominion in particular. Fox host Maria Bartiromo led the charge on November 8th. The network's own researchers had been predicting for weeks that Trump would lead in early counts of in-person election day voters, but lose ground as absentee and mail-in ballots were counted late at night, the so-called red mirage. But after the election, Fox allowed Powell on the air to claim that Dominion software was corrupted by a vote-flipping algorithm, and the so-called Kraken lawyer claimed that Trump's landslide victory overwhelmed the servers, forcing officials to shut down the machines in the middle of the night for dumps of votes for Biden. She even went so far as to accuse Dominion of bribing election officials.
Big, massive dumps.
The company's complaint accused Fox of publishing 20 false and defamatory statements, quote, to make profit at Dominion's expense and at the expense of the truth. They went further, saying, quote, facing a threat to its most profitable line of business from other conservative media outlets competing for President Trump's and his supporters' attention, Fox knowingly lied about Dominion in order to keep, increase, and win back viewers, including its most important viewer, then President Trump. Now, in May of 2021,
it is true. Trump stopped watching, and they were like, "Guys, we got to do something. We gotta start lying more." This whole I can't believe we spent so much money to tell the truth, bro. What have we done?
When Fox filed a motion to dismiss, where the complaint depicted Fox as a greedy corporation making a calculated decision to air lies to gain market share, the network's response described it as a warrior for the First Amendment. Quote, the press must remain free to cover both sides, or there will be a free press no more. Fox argued that Dominion had failed to meet the legal bar for defamation of a public figure. Under the actual malice standard set up by the Supreme Court in the 1964 case of New York Times versus Sullivan, a plaintiff has to prove that the defendant either knew that the statement was false or was so reckless in deciding to publish the information without investigating whether it was accurate that it literally did not care whether the statement was true or false. Now, Fox alleged that it had no knowledge that the claims about Dominion rigging the vote were false when it aired them, and it pointed to Trump's allegations about the widespread fraud and the recounts going on at the time in
we
multiple
don't
states as
know
proof
if you're
that the stories
actually
about
controlled
vote
by
dumps
Hugo
and algorithms
Chavez.
were inherently plausible.
Come on,
and it also
man.
put forward two specific defenses that are often confused. One is the neutral reportage defense, in which media outlets are protected from libel charges when they accurately and objectively report newsworthy claims made by prominent groups against public figures as part of an ongoing controversy. And similarly, the fair report privilege protects journalists who accurately quote statements by public officials or public documents such as those filed in litigation. But the problem for Fox was that the state of New York doesn't recognize the neutral reportage privilege, and the court had already signaled that it did not find Sidney Powell's ranting to be a fair report of any official proceedings. And for boring reasons that I won't go into, it does matter what New York State allows, even though this lawsuit was handled in Delaware. So in December of 2021, Delaware Superior Court Judge Eric Davis denied Fox's motion to dismiss in a ruling which should have struck fear in the hearts of the network's lawyers. Now,
oh, that's when they knew they were fucked. Back in 2021? Oof. Oof. Oh no, man. After they saw that, they were probably scrambling. Guys, it's so over. Guys, it's never been more
it's important
over.
to note that courts are obligated to treat all reasonable allegations as true just for the purposes of the motion to dismiss. But here, the allegations boiled down to a sizzle reel of Fox clips, and there was no denying that those things actually happened.
They didn't just steal the election from Donald Trump, they stole it from all of you.
Well, can you imagine Fox being like, we never said that the election was simply stolen? And then Dominion's like, damn, that's crazy. What's this then? This you?
Just steal the election from Donald Trump.
Judge Janine Pirro, what have you done?
All of you. There was a fraud in their inducement of all things
Janine Pirro,
in order
stop.
to con you.
In the city of Detroit, witnesses have alleged under oath that ballots were improperly backdated and counted without matching signatures. One poll watcher alleges that 40,000 late unsealed absentee ballots were counted orally, and all of them went for Democrats.
We have evidence of how they flipped the votes, how
Are we doing it oral and the Democrats are the only ones
And while
that are
truth
getting
is
it?
an absolute defense to defamation, there's never been a shred of evidence to back up Trump's fraud claims.
AP reporters went looking for cases of voter fraud in 6 states that Trump has challenged, and they found fewer than 475 potential instances out of more than 25 million votes cast, a number that would not have come close to changing the outcome.
Now, being from Delaware, Judge Davis said he wasn't willing to rule as a matter of New York law whether the new
Yeah, but you just didn't get the fraud that they did when it's like really good fraud. So when the fraud gets so good, it's like completely unnoticeable from the real vote. So as you can see, your vote is it just doesn't, it's not real. It's not real evidence. You don't have the fraud. You can get the fraud that is undetectable. The undetectable fraud, that's the dangerous one. Of course, the fraud that you can find is the fraud that we deal with. We're talking about the I don't know that it's fraud. The super fraud.
neutral reportage defense would be allowed. But he did note that, quote, Fox's reporting must have been neutral.
If you have evidence, show it. That's the thing. I don't have evidence because they're really good at doing the fraud. You're literally playing into their hand. You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me. They've been planning this for a while.
Neutral, not a personal attack on Dominion to succeed in this defense. And, quote, Dominion's well-pleaded allegations support the reasonable inference that Fox's reporting was not accurate or dispassionate. And as for the fair report privilege, the court noted that the complaint supported, quote, the reasonable inference that Fox's reporting, 1, was not fair or true, and 2, did not concern an official proceeding. But worst for Fox was Judge Davis's finding that the complaint made a colorable case that, quote, Fox either 1, knew its statements about Dominion's role in election fraud were false, or two, had a high degree of awareness that the statements were false, i.e. that they had satisfied the actual malice standard, which is pretty hard to do. The court pointed to, quote, countervailing evidence of election fraud from the Department of Justice, election experts, and even multiple Fox reporters who accurately debunked the fraud claims on air.
Joe Biden will be an...
Oh, if you don't know a lot about defamation cases, actual malice basically means you have to prove that they were trying to hurt you, or like trying to, like, specifically what they were doing is specifically to make you lose money, to hurt you, to make you lose, to harm your public image, stuff like that. And it's really hard to do, to prove that somebody was like trying to hurt you, especially in these big, high profile defamation cases with like super well-known businesses or business models. Really hard to prove it. And so that was like Fox News's last saving grace, was that they wouldn't be able to find, you know, actual malice. But the fact that the judge was like, oh yeah, it's right here, is what is the big reason for why they wanted to settle.
Inaugurated on January 20th. To say this constitutes living in reality. And if I offered you a false reality, if I told you that there was an excellent, phenomenal chance that the Supreme Court was going to step in and deliver a victory to President Trump, I'd be lying to you.
Moreover, Dominion plastered Fox with upwards of 3,300 emails explaining that the vote rigging claims about its machines were lies. Judge Davis wrote, quote, the fact that despite this evidence, Fox continues to publish its allegations against Dominion suggests that Fox knew the allegations were probably false. And so, with a motion to dismiss denied, the case continued, and the parties spent over a year conducting discovery. And Dominion's lawyers spent hundreds of hours deposing every host, producer, and executive at Fox. That's one of the reasons these kind of lawsuits settle early, is because you don't want to get into this kind of extensive discussion.
Yeah, my thing is, you guys want to try and go over some of those recordings. I think some of them are public, or at least the transcripts of some of them are public with some of the answers. I know Murdoch himself was deposed, if I remember correctly. I think Murdoch himself was. But I don't think they got anybody else yet. I know Tucker was going to be one of their first witnesses that the prosecution pulled, or the plaintiffs would pull. But yeah, I beg of you. Well, I'll see if they're out there, because they may not be. It may just be like transcripts. It'd be really great if, because like in the Alex Jones case, they're recorded and they uploaded them and everything. So it'd be sick if they did. But I'll check it out for you. Okay.
Discovery. And here, they poured over thousands of pages of texts and emails. They watched a whole lot of Fox clips, and at the end of the year, they came back and filed a motion for summary judgment in January of 2023. Essentially, Dominion argued that there were no issues of fact. Everyone agreed what the factual issues were, and it was just up to the judge to decide the legal implication of those facts, or at least the outcome of several of the main issues, and that Judge Davis should rule on those issues or the entirety of the case without a trial. Now, this is an extremely normal thing to do. It's basically a trial on paper, but it's also one of the most labor-intensive motions that you can file in front of the court. And honestly, most of the time these things don't work. But remember, Dominion had been collecting evidence for a year. So while it was trying to persuade the court to rule in its favor, it was also hoping to show Fox how unpleasant it would be to actually take this case to trial. The hope was to inflict enough pain by putting embarrassing stuff out in the public that it would convince Fox to settle the case. And most people don't know this, but basically everything in litigation is public unless the judge seals that evidence, which is very, very rare. So all of this stuff could enter into the public domain.
Into the torture
and Dominion's
chamber.
motion presented evidence confirming what it had alleged a year before about Fox executives flipping out over the backlash to their accurate report that Biden had won Arizona. For example, from executive Rod Shaw to CEO Suzanne Smith, quote, lots of conservative criticism of the AZ call. The next day, Fox's chief White House correspondent.
I love how they're just saying it, you know? I feel like we get yelled at every now and again when we say that Fox News is like mad corrupt and simply lie to their audience for views. And to push like narratives to make them scared and anxious so they keep tuning in. And then in the back end, Fox is like, hell yeah, let's lie to them. If we don't lie to them, they won't keep watching. It's crazy getting proven so right, but at the same time, I wish everybody could see it, honestly.
Bonnet confirmed, quote, "We are taking major heat over the AZ call. Our viewers are also chanting Fox News sucks, something I have never heard before."
I've never heard this in my life.
And they're actually chanting Fox News sucks.
Dude, MSNBC was having such a good night. MSNBC was like eating so good in the 2020 election cycle. Holy. I mean, like, how can you not when you've got a guy as eternally lovable as Steve Kornacki, who's there all night? I mean, like, it's kind of hard to top. It's kind of hard to top the Kornak. They were cackling. Oh yeah, they were. They were snorting. They were cackling. They pulled out the champagne. They were having a great night. They were loving every second of it, I swear. And the worse it keeps getting for Fox News, I bet the funnier they think it is. You think a hit to Fox is going to affect the Rupert Murdoch empire abroad? Oh, they're selling both. Oh, I'm not sure if you know this, but like in this lawsuit, in the Dominion lawsuit, people just say Fox News, but Fox News and the Murdoch like empire were being, I don't know what like the Murdoch's like parent company that he has all the other companies under. I don't know its name, but both were getting sued actually. And I think in the Smartmatic case, both are also getting sued. News Corp. In News Corp International. What the fuck? They sound like. Why is it? I don't know. Why does it sound so ominous? It sounds like the propaganda arm to a fictitious dictatorship, right? Ran by pixies from Fairly Odd Parents. It sounds like a place where you're not allowed to have where you're not allowed to like wear colors. Because Murdoch is evil, I guess. Where's the headquarters stationed at? Like in the center of a volcano or some shit? It's just hanging in the middle of an active volcano. Is that where the headquarters for News Corp is? Like a RoboCop villain, right? News Corp. Yeah, the evil corporation.
Another internal message read, "Holy cow, our audience is mad at the network. They're furious." On November 6th, Fox executives made the decision to cancel Jeanine Pirro's show to prevent her from spreading conspiracy theories about the election fraud.
No, Jeanine! Executive
David Clark admitted, quote, "Her guests are all going to say the election is being stolen, and if she pushes back at all, it will just be token."
My thing that I think is so funny is that in some of these like transcripts, it really seems like this is the first time the higher ups are even watching the shows, the shows that like come on, like, because in some of these it's like, you know, Scott, the CEO, or like Murdoch, who's there, and they're sitting around and the transcripts are like, "I'm watching the show right now. This is crazy. What's going on?" I'd 1000% believe that. Here, listen, he'll talk about some transcripts because obviously we can't go through like the majority of the lawsuit. It was 192 pages. So, you know, I know there was stuff in there that we're going to miss, but I just can't possibly skim through 190 pages of you know, like back and forth that they got.
Producer Justin Wells confirmed, quote, "They took her off because she was being crazy. Optics are bad, but she is crazy." By November 9th, after the election had been called, management at Fox were in a panic over the backlash to Fox's Arizona call. Tucker Carlson told CEO Suzanne Scott, quote, "I've never seen a reaction like this to any media company. Kills me to watch it." Scott complained to her team about, quote, "the impact to the brand and the arrogance in calling Arizona."
Oh my gosh, have we thought about the impact to our brand for telling the truth the first time? This is just amazing. We told the truth once and it blew up our channel. Once. Just one time. And that's all it took. They tainted, because this wouldn't have happened. Let me tell you this now. This wouldn't have happened in like 2016. Honestly, this wouldn't have happened in 2016. This wouldn't have happened in like 2014. This wouldn't have happened in 2012 on Fox News. Like 2012 Fox News, and they got that call right, they would be like popping champagne. 2020 Fox News, in just 4 years, they tainted their the minds of their audience so bad that telling the truth once sends a ripple, like an unstoppable ripple of discontent through their entire audience. I think that's crazy. It's so scary how fast people can just be taken over. Stupidity is like a virus. Propaganda is a virus.
She texted Lachlan Murdoch, quote, "Viewers are going through the 5 stages of grief. It's a question of trust. The AZ call."
I'm sorry, this level of doomsday on telling the truth once, the viewers are going through the 5 stages of grief. We need to do something to soothe their aching souls. Oh man, you could open your window while driving through the back roads of Kentucky or something, and you could just hear the painful moaning of 56-year-olds in their lazy boys watching Fox News. Oh, we will highlight our stars and plant flags, letting the viewers know that we hear them and respect them. This shit's crazy. We will highlight our stars and have them go out to they have to do pacifying propaganda for their viewers for telling the truth once.
Was damaging, but we will highlight our stars and plant flags, letting the viewers know we hear them and respect them. To which he agreed to the plan, quote, "Yes, but needs constant rebuilding without any missteps." Quote, "Yes, today is day 1 and it's a process." But that process did not include telling the truth to Fox viewers. That same day, Fox rebuked Neil Cavuto for fact-checking false claims about election fraud made by Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. The next day, Scott and Fox News President Jay Wallace traded messages acknowledging that Newsmax's embrace of lies about election fraud.
The 5 stages of grace emotes.
We're eating into Fox's market share. Quote, "The Newsmax surge is a bit troubling. Truly is an alternative universe when you watch, but it can't be ignored. Trying to get everyone to comprehend, we are on war footing."
Holy shit. What the fuck? They're like, I was just watching these guys and literally everything they said was a lie. Yeah, they're living in a different universe. We got some real competition. These guys are insane and stupid and wrong. They may take a large portion of our viewership. All right. They're just like me for real. You should do a deep dive into Murdoch. Learning about this man is pretty wild, especially in his younger days. Too many good stories of Aussie politicians and journos that expose how insanely insecure and narcissistic that man is. Maybe we should. The Murdoch arc.
Yeah, sometimes even the best lawyers have trouble representing bad clients. And as you probably know, finding a great lawyer can be really hard. Until now.
He isn't even American. Yeah, can we get these immigrants out of our country? You see what happens when you believe that cringe liberal lie that diversity makes us great? Now we get people like Elon Musk and I'm joking. If we can go back to Africa, bro. Who asked you to come here? Anyways, I'm joking.
Check out the link in the description for that. But back to the Dominion saga. Dominion went out of its way to prove that it could inflict a lot of pain on everyone at the network. It revealed private chats between Fox stars Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham, in which they railed against the straight news side for alienating the audience with fact checks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So some people forget, okay? So every once in a while, I'll use a Fox News article. And some people will think, oh, why would you ever use a Fox News article? Oh, Fox News is bad. That's not actually true. There are genuinely some pretty good, straight news journalists on Fox News. They just get drowned out by what's important on Fox News, which is the dogmatic beliefs, the ideologues, the doomsayers, the conspiracy theorists, the witches and warlocks, and the propaganda and rhetoric that they pull in. But there are actually some genuinely good Fox News articles out there. So yeah, I would imagine that there is strife between the straight news and the higher ups. I don't know, maybe we'll look into that again, because I'm not sure how many people that actually know about it, but it's actually super interesting in Fox News how it's split between like the straight news people, like the midday people in the morning shows outside of like Fox 5 or whatever, or like the 5. How there's just like random people just doing like normal news. Real. Right? They're just normal people doing normal news, and it's not actually super crazy or politically bent. And I know those people that they don't like it because the actual journalistic work that they're doing is getting tainted and like overshadowed by the insane talking heads, making it so that their work is like less serious and less people care about it less when, you know, applying to other jobs or something, or they get upset because they're not taking it seriously because of, you know, some insane thing that like Ingram or Janine or Hannity or, you know, any one of them had just said tonight. Chris Wallace was cool. He was all right. Not the best, but I mean, you know, he was all right. He definitely could be worse. My African-American history teacher used a PragerU video, and I audibly gasped when she pulled it up on the projector. We had like a 10-minute discussion about it. Please tell me like the good side won, because that is crazy. And they're super untrustworthy as well. Did you put on like Tim and Moby or something? Like, we'll actually learn less by you doing that. She prefaced it by explaining they're a conservative think tank. Okay. Also, did they talk about how they didn't cite their sources? The John Brown vid was crazy. Yeah, I think they literally verbatim said John Brown was a terrorist who tried to take down America by stealing hardworking Americans' property. I think that was like their summation of the history of John Brown in the country. Yeah, radical abolitionist who wanted to burn down America. Wild stuff. Yeah,
Quote,
what was that property?
In 1 week and one debate, they destroyed a...
Wait, let me see. They like the sound of being a television journalist. Holy crap. Tucker and Ingram are like gossiping and like mean girl abusing the straight news staff. Wait, I didn't think it was this bad. I thought they had like some like normal issues, but I didn't think it was like, look at those fucking losers. Think that they're so high and mighty by telling the truth straight without putting a bend to it. That's why nobody watches them. They love the sound of their own gums flapping. They think that they're so cool for being a TV journalist. And all the trappings of looking so, oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. I don't make full segments about Facebook memes. Oh, I'm better than you. Holy shit. Oh, it's the three-way chat. They're in a group chat. They're like mean girl fucking group chat texting each other. What the fuck? Ingram, Carlson, and Hannity are all in the same group chat, just like shit posting about the straight news staff. That is crazy to me. All right. Actual children.
Alienating the audience with fact checks. Quote, in 1 week and one debate, they destroyed a brand that took 25 years to build, and the damage is incalculable. Carlson agreed, it's vandalism.
This is them, just so you know, this is them talking about how the straight news staff damaged the reputation of that Fox News has been building for 25 years. All three of these guys. Literally, we're trying to find out who did this. I did it. It's the people who were reporting on the truth without any spin to it. It's those guys who are obliterating the channel. I mean, at least they're saying it, right? You caused this. They didn't lie. I can confirm. Wall Street peeps selling me both CNN and FNC are for sale. CNN definitely is. I don't think we are. Who would buy it? They're already talking about, the rat is already talking about jumping ship.
After Fox White House reporter Jackie Henrick put out a tweet fact-checking election fraud claims, Tucker Carlson complained to the group chat, quote, please get her fired seriously. It needs to stop immediately, like tonight. It's measurably hurting the company. The stock price is down. Not a joke.
Okay, wait. That's the context to that DM? Wait, that's even worse than I thought it was. Whoa, what the hell? That's crazy. What a piece of shit, right? So as they were like in their group chat, like Kayleigh McEnany was just telling a bunch of lies. And so their reporter, one of their like straight reporters was like, hey, that's not true. And did a little fact check. And then Tucker saw it and instantly was like, somebody please fire them. Please, they don't know what they're doing. You say, yes, sir, Mr. Dictator, sir. They don't know how to fall in line. Gay reporters, am I right? So true. Can't live with them.
But while the text disclosures were embarrassing, that Fox knew that the fraud claims were false was worse. Because to prove defamation of a public figure, like Dominion in this case, you have to prove that the speaker was at least indifferent as to the truth of the statement. And in addition to the internal communications, there was also the evidence that they used in support. For example, Fox host Maria Bartiromo put Sidney Powell on the air on November 7th. And Powell sent her email from the source of her claims about election fraud and false allegations about Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senator...
Holy shit, look how fucking smug she is. That's crazy. I didn't even know it was
her claims about election fraud and false allegations.
I didn't even know it was physically possible for a human being to look so smug. That's crazy. My mind is blown, dude. That's wild. Holy shit, she fucking I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, bro. She looks like a Dr. Seuss character. She looks like a Starbelly Sneetch. She's literally clueless. Wait, that's so true. That's crazy. Oh man, it's so good. There's just something about her face that's just so like, it's like the depth, right? Yeah, yeah. If like was was a face. Wow, that's why it's not just me, right? Do you all get me? Am I onto something? But I don't know, looking at that face is just like, I think it's like the face shape too, like the evil slope. It's special. It's uber smug. Oh yeah, we're all on the same page here. Okay. I'm just glad I'm not in here alone. I'm glad that you all are with me. I love you guys, okay?
About Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senator Dianne Feinstein. The source wrote, quote, "I've had the strangest dreams since I was a little girl. Most were just odd. Others were clearly predictions. I see what others don't see and hear what others don't hear." And
yo, this is one of their main sources. Bro, she said she like got up and started running down the street halfway through her like Indigo trip. And if you caught her, this is what she would say. Empath incoming. I'm an empath.
Others were clearly predictions. I see what others don't see and hear what others don't hear. And taking a tip from a source who claims Antonin Scalia was killed as part of a human hunting party seems pretty indifferent at
all right.
best. Between that and the
Sure,
3,600 plus emails from Dominion fact-checking Fox's false claims and begging the network to stop airing them, Dominion made a convincing case that Fox had defamed it under the Sullivan Standard. So on March 22nd, Judge Davis issued a partial summary judgment in favor of Dominion. While he wasn't prepared to rule on the issue of actual malice, he held that each and every one of the 20 statements pointed out by Dominion was in fact defamatory, which is a large part of the ballgame. He said, quote, "The evidence developed in this civil proceeding demonstrates that it is crystal clear that none of the statements relating to Dominion about the 2020 election are true."
Dude, if I was ever in a court case and the judge ruled against me and my man said crystal clear, italics and bold and all caps, I'd be like, I'd look at my lawyer. It'd be like a civil case. I'd look at my lawyer and I'd be like, am I gonna get the death penalty? Is this a case where is this a state where I can choose a firing squad or lethal injection? I think I need some time to think about it. Like there is no coming back from this one. It is crystal clear.
You know, when a judge writes in all caps that it's crystal clear, that's a bad sign. Or, as he put it elsewhere in the order, quote, "Fox takes a nuanced approach to falsity."
Damn, what the fuck? Your lawsuit is so bad that the judge starts cracking jokes? Like he's a goddamn he starts making quips like he's a goddamn MCU character. I bet you don't have an air fryer. Fox News takes a nuanced approach to falsity. Sidekick energy, right? They're
Honestly,
having too much
I think
fun.
I want that on a t-shirt. And so after this partial summary judgment in Dominion's favor, the only live issues to be taken care of at trial were actual malice, the extent of Dominion's damages, and whether the Fox Corporation, the parent company of Fox News, would also be liable for those damages. And the court also released a mountain of exhibits prepared by Dominion that showed Fox executives appearing to acknowledge that they had aired false claims about Dominion. In one hilarious email on December 11th, it appears to have dawned on Fox's legal team that they were about to get sued. Quote, "We need to look at all the times Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Alan Dershowitz, and Rona McDaniel came on FNC/FBN and addressed the questions that were raised about Dominion voting and Smartmatic machines. The potential legal dispute is claiming that we did challenge the narrative being put out by Giuliani, Powell et al. That the Dominion vote machines/Smartmatic were responsible for switching votes and or producing inaccurate results. Sometimes we didn't, but we're looking for the times we did challenge this narrative." In a moment.
This is why I was like earlier when I was like, I think this is the first time that they've ever actually looked at the stuff they're playing. Cause look how pathetic this is. Guys, I think we're gonna get sued. And they said that it's because we didn't push back on the very clear lies. And they're right, we didn't, but we're like looking really hard through every single stream we did to see when the times when we did, because I'm pretty sure we did. We're looking for them. They have to be out there. I'm like pretty sure we push back at some point in time. They haven't found it yet, but they're pretty sure it's there. What FNC are they talking about? I think that maybe Fox News and Fox Business. I think that's what this may be, possibly. Yeah, Fox News Corp. Yeah, this would be like normal Fox News, like Fox News Corp. And then FBN is, I forget what FBN is. Ah, I see.
Moment of lucidity, the frantic executive added, quote, "It won't be shows like Dobbs, Hannity, etc. We need to specifically look at straighter news shows."
That's just crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. Oh, what the fuck? It's just like, I don't know. It blows my mind that this type of stuff is going on in the background. And then we get clowned on for when we say that Fox News is like completely untrustworthy and you should never trust anything that comes from their doors. That comes like spewing from the garbage that is their network. You can't trust it. It won't. We need to look. We are looking for the times that we did. The legal dispute is claiming that we didn't challenge the narratives by Trump's people about their voting machines. Sometimes we didn't, but we're looking for the times where we did. It won't be shows like Dobbs or Hannity. We're looking for straighter news shows. Now, I feel like this juxtaposes so well with earlier when Hannity, Carlson, and Ingram were both saying that it's like the straight news shows that are destroying the company. And like, while the higher ups are actively saying, please don't look at their shit because like that you'll be wasting your time to see if them pushing back against something. They don't even know.
There was also a slide deck with image after image of executives saying things like, quote, "I watched Lou Dobbs closely for 2 weeks during the conventions. The North Koreans do a more nuanced show."
All right. I don't want anybody to ever get mad if we start comparing Fox News segments to North Korea, propaganda. Okay. I never want to hear it. Bro, I'm in space, right? I'm in space. When I saw that the first time, I couldn't like believe myself. I was going to fall out of my chair. I was watching Lou Dobbs. Lou doesn't work at Fox News anymore. Wait a second. So this is what the higher ups were saying about Lou Dobbs before he got fired? I watched Lou for 2 weeks during the convention. The North Koreans do a more nuanced show. What the fuck? Not lube doves. Please don't lube my dub. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Legally proven to be propaganda. This should be legal propaganda.
For 2 weeks during the conventions, the North Koreans do a more nuanced show. Damn! Oof. The unkindest cuts come from the inside, I guess. Or Suzanne Scott angrily emailing her team about fact checks by Fox hosts. Quote, "This has to stop now. This is bad business. The audience is just furious and we are feeding them material."
Guys, this needs to stop. This needed to stop a long time ago. You can't keep posting the truth. You don't get it. It's killing the business. Oh, stop.
But still, Fox didn't settle. So Dominion applied more pressure in the lead up to the April 17th trial date. Although Fox definitely helped. On April 11th, it emerged in a hearing that Fox's lawyers had obfuscated Rupert Murdoch's role at Fox News. While the Murdoch family patriarch is the CEO of Fox Corporation, it was only last week that...
Wait, what's that business called? What's that business called? That's crazy. Why do you make it sound so evil?
In a hearing that Fox's lawyers had obfuscated Rupert Murdoch's role at Fox News. While the Murdoch family patriarch is the CEO of Fox Corporation...
Okay, no, never mind. That's just what he called him. I thought the company was called the Murdoch Family Patriarch. I'd be like, holy shit. That's like the big bad boss that's also like a bug. He looks like the evil guy that's from Fallout 2. And they tell me phrenology isn't real.
Murdoch's role at Fox News. While the Murdoch family patriarch is the CEO of Fox Corporation, it was only last week that it emerged that he also holds a position at Fox News. This was significant because of the issues of actual malice and the potential liability of the parent company, and Judge Davis was not amused. He said, quote, "You have a credibility problem. I need to feel comfortable that when you represent something, to me, it's the truth." And this was not true. Then Maria Bartiromo's former producer, Abby Grossberg, who is suing the network for employment discrimination, released audio tapes which she claimed to have turned over to Fox's lawyers. Here's Bartiromo talking to Rudy Giuliani, who admits that he doesn't have proof of the claims he's making on air.
Whatever you can tell us in terms of evidence would be really helpful. Okay, great. Is there anything you want to make sure that I get to?
Tell you exactly what we have.
Perfect. And what about this software, this Dominion software?
That's a little harder
troubling
to tell you. Right, it's being analyzed right now. I mean, there are a couple of races that have been reversed because the Democrat was triple counted, two already in Michigan. Now, whether that applies to the whole state or not, I can't tell you yet.
This Dominion software, does Nancy Pelosi have an interest in it?
Wow, dude, you're going to jail. Oh, it's so over, bro. What the hell? Oh, it's so over. What the fuck?
Okay.
After Dominion's lawyers played that tape in court, Judge Davis ordered Fox's lawyers to preserve their communications regarding the Discovery failures and appoint a special master to look into what happened. Just more pain. So on Sunday, April 16th, the court announced that the trial would be delayed by a day. Then on Tuesday afternoon, when opening arguments were scheduled to begin, they didn't. At 4 p.m., Judge Davis announced the parties had settled the case and dismissed the jury. On the court...
You're right, he does kind of look like Murdoch. He's a little fatter, but it's the same face shape, 100%. 100%. You got a point. You got me there.
Steps, Dominion's lawyer, Justin Nelson, announced the $787.5 million settlement, roughly half of the $1.6 billion that Dominion had originally sought. Fox put out a tepid statement acknowledging, quote, "The court's ruling finding certain claims about Dominion to be false."
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Look how petty CNN is. Look at this petty drama, bro. It's like me scrolling through Instagram while I was back in high school. What is this? Look how petty this shit is. To hear what happened to Fox News's ratings without Tucker Carlson. Like, damn, what the fuck? And then the geezers were eating it up. They love it. Look at they're dancing on their grave. It's so funny. This one's out of spite. This is not just a news article. This is not just like a news segment. This is this one. They wanted to twist the knife on this one. They specifically wanted for this one to cause pain. Fuck them. I'm sorry. I saw it and I was just like, that is so funny. I heard Tucker Carlson's wife has been crying ever since they got the news.
And touting its, quote, continued commitment to the highest journalistic standards. It did not admit wrongdoing, and so far, no one at the network appears to have gotten fired.
You're fired.
So who won this case? Well, definitely not Fox, despite the fact that the settlement doesn't require them to publicly admit wrongdoing on air or change its behavior in any way. $787 million is a huge figure, even for a company as rich as Fox. And for Dominion, which was valued at about $80 million in 2018 and might possibly be around $220 million in 2022 for the entire company, it's an astronomical payout. And yes, it could have gotten more if it had taken the case to the jury, or it might have gotten nothing. And even if it had won the trial, that might have gotten reversed on appeal. So you know how juries are. You never know. And on top of that, in any event, any decision would have been tied up in appeals for years, whether they ultimately won the appeal or not. With the settlement, Dominion gets the cash today. And if you're hoping for a corporation to save American democracy by taking out another corporation, well, you're going to be waiting a very long time.
Damn. We got to take out these damn corporations. What better way than to take a big corporation and then smash it against another really big corporation until they both break? It's only fair, I think. It's only fair. It's a give and take relationship. Wait, so I was kind of taking a look at some stuff that like CNN has been up to. Apparently they're mad petty. And it's really funny. Here Fox News viewers react to Fox's settlement with Dominion.
Fox has to pay Dominion Voting Systems $787 million for making false statements about the voting machines. It was a huge story for the past 2 years in the media world, but very rarely mentioned on Fox. So what do Fox viewers know about what happened? I sat down with a group of them to find out. Here is our Pulse of the People. Show of hands, how many of you had heard about this 2-year legal battle between Dominion and Fox before our producer called you?
I hate CNN so much. There's something about CNN. It just kind of smells weird. You know what I mean? Is it just me? I don't even necessarily even get it from Fox News. There's just something about CNN is just like uncool. I don't really know necessarily how to describe it. It's just CNN genuinely just has no riz. I guess if that's like how I'm trying to say it or something, but I don't know. You know what I mean? CNN is the New Jersey of news networks. Holy fucking shit. Holy. It's so true. Yo, it's so true. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. I didn't think of it that way. But now that you put it that way, I can't unsee it. It's so perfect. Imagine living in Jersey. Lamau, I have family there. Right? Jesus jump scare. You jump scare. You're sitting in the back seat of the car with your parents driving. You're asleep. One bump kind of wakes you up. You lift your head and you see the sign, "Welcome to New Jersey." No. This cannot be. Go Garden State Parkway. Hey guys, what's up? It's me in Jersey. Aha. Philly strong.
Two of you had heard about it.
I was aware of the claims that had made against Dominion and the allegations of voter fraud more broadly. I just wasn't aware that Dominion had filed essentially a defamation suit against Fox.
How many of you are surprised by the $787 million settlement that Fox agreed to pay to Dominion for broadcasting false information about the voting systems?
Bro, they're literally just, I love, they're just bringing these guys on to kind of laugh at them. You know what I mean? If that's the case, give them just like, I don't know, give them a couple of flaming pins to juggle while you're at it.
None of you. Reagan, your thoughts?
It was damning to Fox. So at some point, you have to make a business decision on both ends. And I thought, you know, it would probably be in Fox's best interest to settle.
Obviously, Fox made those claims in some capacity, and Dominion took issue with it. So, okay, they sued them. What I came away from the court filing with was a lot of this is a matter of opinion.
This has been over a year, correct? So for them to come to the
I'm kind of surprised that's what you came out of it when the like that's what you brought out of it when the judge was like, this is crystal clear defamation. The judge was literally like, I feel like he was like, looking at this case completely fixed my eyesight. I don't have to wear glasses anymore. It's so clear. I've never seen a crime so easily committed in my life. And he's like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where it's just opinion, man.
the table with no evidence to back up their claims, that's really frustrating. Because it's quite frankly, we've had millions of Americans that have been doing their homework since 2020. It's pretty easy to find some funny stuff.
I'm wondering how you feel knowing that one of the things that came out during discovery was...
Yeah, the judge said, this is very clearly a crime. The judge was like, this is probably one of the easiest definitions of crime I've seen in my life. Fox, you're screwed. You're done. I really think that a lot of this comes down to a little he said, they said opinion.
How different the hosts felt behind the scenes than what they were saying on the air. For instance, when Tucker Carlson said behind the scenes after the election on November 23rd, 2020, he says, I had to try to make the White House disavow Sidney Powell, which they obviously should have done long before. Laura Ingraham in her text responds, no serious lawyer could believe what they were saying.
Wow. That's like the first night, and then they went on to peddle Sidney Powell for like a year afterwards? Yeah, that's egregious. That's egregious. They belong in jail. I'm sorry. Somebody's got to, like, I know that this was just this type of case, but like, I think somebody's got to, where's like the FCC or like something? Anybody, please, I'm begging you. Put somebody in jail. Just, I don't even care if it's like necessarily exactly the person who did it. Can I just, like, out of the like executives and the higher ups, you could just put their name in the sort of like a bingo lottery ball spinner randomizer and just pick one and then send them to jail or just something. Just somebody's got to go. Yeah, pick them out. Yeah, pick them out of a hat. Just something. Because that shouldn't be legal.
Well, I lost trust in them prior to that. Anyway,
There's a proud OAN viewer.
When Fox was calling out the election, I know a lot of people felt this way. They were calling out the election prematurely for Arizona. And then after that, you know, there's been a lot of talking out both sides of their mouth.
The audience is not looking to be.
Does she? I always wondered. I really wanted to ask like a normie Republican, but I never really had the opportunity to. I want to know if they think that the news stations are like who kind of picks the president. Like, if Reuters came out at the beginning of the night with their prediction of what the end of the night is going to look like, does that have an effect on what will actually happen? Are they strong enough to change everything? They kind of do. I'm not talking about like kind of disincentivizing some voters to come out, I'm talking like after the polls have closed, when like the only thing they're doing is like counting, because that's when that call was made, like way after polls closed. I do want a ritual sacrifice. I think it's time. They said it was illegal. You're right. I forgot when some of them came out and said it was literally illegal. Like whoever they think that they're going to pick is who's actually kind of going to win. They just throw some extra votes into the ballot box for you. That's illegal and you know it. You can't get it. Somebody, please, they can't keep getting away with telling me the truth. Like a boomer Gen X grill dad? I mean, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, kind of, sure, I guess, but like not necessarily that, you know? I mean, like what's a normie Democrat? I'm talking about somebody who, I don't know, maybe lives in like a city at the outskirts of like Cincinnati, Ohio or something. You know, you live in like the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio. And they live in a cul-de-sac and they own a boat. Like those, like the little McMansion type people. And like, you know, even here in Kentucky and Tennessee, the little McMansion people who have like a Raptor and it's kind of like a reasonably big house that's kind of ranched out. They got the pillars in the middle, or that driveway that's not a normal driveway that just goes straight. It kind of like circles around the front of the house. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a half circle touching the road, like one of those, right? Like those type of people, and then just like, you know, people who kind of live in, you know, like the suburbs, like those type of people are like your random kind of like person who lives like a couple back roads out of a small town. Like those type of people. The type of people whose main grocery store is Dollar General.
Be lied to. It's looking to give context to something that we know is true from a certain perspective, and that's got a value. But there is a line not to cross. And once you know that something is not true, you need to let them know, because then they can move on and accept that the conservatives lost this last election. Let go of some nefarious deep state shadowy thing.
So, you know, Allison, you spoke about, certain Fox hosts knew about this, but they went forward with it anyway. One, I'm really happy that they have divergent opinions in private, and they say, gosh, you know, I'm not really sure about this.
I think they're going to learn a lesson. This lesson has happened to cost them $787 million, which is a number I can't hardly imagine.
And what is that lesson, Ryan? I mean, but what is that lesson?
So what did we learn today?
Well, I think that lesson is that the news should be based wholly on truth.
There's a certain level of willful blindness.
Thank you, Will.
But people see what they want to see. And that's true on the left and it's true on the right. But I don't look to any of the networks, including Fox, as the ultimate arbiter of truth.
One more question. Show of hands. How many of you will still be devoted Fox watchers?
I mean, not sure if it's devoted, but I'll still partake.
So three of you.
I'm used to being the odd man out. That's okay.
All right, then. All right, well. Me. Clowns. No, you don't get it. They just don't have anywhere else to go. It's like either this or Daily Wire. Come on, guys. Cut us some slack. Oh, are you really gonna make her watch the Michael Knowles show? Don't you have a heart? Come on. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.